I just wanted to start by reading the programmer's comments on your film, because I think it's important for you to know what they've thought. And the first programmer said, impressive for a first film, one actor film essentially, and also a film with almost no dialogue, worth championing films like this. And the second programmer says, pure style noir, really clever, low budget film, refreshing, original. I was deeply caught by the thrill. So you wrote, directed, and produced what I believe is a perfect COVID experience, a perfect COVID style noir film, although it was done before.
Yes.
But it's one location, one actor, a thrilling script where tension grows constantly until the climax. So, like, it's an incredible experience. It was perfectly timed. I'd like to start, though, with you. Who are you? Who is Alexis Bruchon? A talented graphic designer with a passion for cinema. Tell us a little bit more about you. What is your background and how did you end up making a film?
Yes, okay. So first of all, the programmer's comments were very kind, and concerning the COVID film noir, it's pure hazard, but yes, it's right in the middle of its very weird period. So voilà.
Very weird, yes.
So yes, I'm an illustrator. I work a lot with Britain because I'm represented by a British agency called Artist Partners, and it's a it's a passion work. So I'm very glad to be an illustrator. And I think it's linked with my passion for cinema, because I always been in love with images, and illustration and cinema are two different ways to represent the world, and in both cases it's a matter of point of view. So I think I always wanted to make a film, so at the beginning, but as you know, film is expensive. You need to have a crew, you need to have equipment, etc. So drawing was a better way to represent my stories, what I wanted to see. So it was very practical. It was no expensive at all. You just need a pen and a sheet of paper, and your vision can be, in theory, with no limits. But you always have the limit. Concerning me, it was the case. But the idea to make a movie was always been here. Concerning my background, I made university courses with background in history and art history.
Okay.
And it was very important for me, because have a visual culture is very important, because cinema, films are images, first of all. And I think this film is a good example, because you have no dialogues, no words, few words, but images represent a big place, as a big major importance in the comprehension of the film. And of course, in paintings and cinema are very linked. You have a very big connection between cinema and paintings.
Yeah.
You have the okay, yes. And after that, I made art graphic design school. And
Right.
it was also very important for me as a future director for this project, because in graphic design, you learn to make space where you put void, where you put what you want to see, what is composition, what is the meaning of colors, etc., etc. And
For you to draw storyboards.
yes,
So
yes,
you
to
use
see
them.
storyboard and to represent with a camera a picture with a camera. So it was very important. And in graphic design, which is I think the most important for me, was you can learn what is the point of view, because you have to understand what the viewer has to see and not to see. So the idea of off camera and point of view was very important for me in graphic design. And also, yes, it permit me to draw the story, because at first I storyboarded all the story of the film, and after shot it.
And then it allows you to have a very clear mind of what the camera work will be as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. That's
Camera is
another.
intention. It's not has to be just beautiful images. You have to tell a story, and through images. So you have to understand what is the meaning of the picture when you have to place one particular element, what have to hide, etc.
Yeah, it's very interesting that you say that, because it's quite clear in your film that you have a very well structured way of conceiving the film. So it's very consistent throughout the film. The use of every cinematic element is very well thought of. So what you're saying is actually very visible in the film.
Okay.
And then obviously you have a passion for the noir style.
Yes.
Because this film really ticks all the boxes of the genre. You have the black and white photography, the crime story, the use of light, the criminal hero, and even the femme fatale.
Yes.
So where does that come from? Because I've read that you're very into the noir films from the 30s, like Fritz Lang. Is that it? Is that I mean, does the idea come from? Were you inspired by these filmmakers? Is this an obsession that you have with the noir?
Yeah. Yes. Noir is one of my favorite genre. I'm very fond of genre cinema. And noir film, I think, is yes, maybe what I prefer with the gothic films, the giallos. So, and it's very rich because you have a lot of heroes in the film noir. You have the classic film noir, Hollywoodian film noir. You have the British film noir. You have the French wave, which work with the film noir, like Melville, even Godard with Breathless. It's a sort of film noir. You have all the Italian waves with the gialli, Argento, Sergio Martino, Aldo Lado, Mario Bava, of course. And yes, it was the first idea is it's not a love letter or an homage or a pastiche.
No.
I was very afraid of making just an homage or a pastiche. I think at the beginning I will answer your your question, but I think the most important thing is to have a starting point, which was a film noir starting point with elements from the classic film noir, like the thief, the femme fatale, the villain, the black and white, but with very contemporary, not very contemporary, but a contemporary subjects, the digital, because I think the starting point was how to make a classic thriller, classic film noir, with
Yeah.
our contemporary era, full of digital. And now it's difficult to make an action movie, an action thriller with digital, because you can make very bad things with just a laptop or a smartphone. So it was, I think, very funny to build a story, a classic story, classic film noir with those very contemporary elements. But to answer your question, at the beginning, yes, it's my passion for film noir. I think the most visual references were, as there is a specific visual reference to a Mario Bava film called, in English, it's Blood Lace. I think it's Blood Lace.
Blood Lace.
Blood, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I know the Italian, the French, but sometimes it's difficult to have all the three versions. So that's it. And the killer has a hood over his head. And at the beginning of my story, there is the same thing. And it's another direct reference to the Spiral Staircase by Robert Siodmak, which is Robert Siodmak is one of my favorite director. The Killers is maybe my favorite film, and the Spiral Staircase is very close in terms of ambience of my film, because there is both noir and gothic ambience. Well, but yes, I like very much Fritz Lang. I like very much Robert Siodmak, for example, Otto Preminger, all the best director of film noir.
You have to write a list of your favorite filmmakers so we can watch them too. And yeah, I mean, it's very intriguing to see how into this genre you are, and it's also very interesting to the idea of combining a very classic genre with a more modern content. So text messages used as clues, and mobile phones, so ringtones to build tension.
So there was a cut. I didn't understand what you say.
No, I was saying that it's very interesting.
Sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yes, it's good. That's good.
No, it's very. It was very interesting what you were mentioning about the combination between a classical genre and a very modern content, and so the use of mobile phones to in the script to create tension, and using text messages as clues. I found that very, very clever, and and also what is striking about the film is, if I can ask, it's how low budget it is, but still with a very low budget setup, you've created a very stylish and incredibly professional product. So can we go into that? Can we ask you how much did the film cost? How did you manage to finance it? And maybe can you share some tricks on how to make a very low budget film?
Yes. So it's difficult to say a precise price. I think it costs around 3,000 euros. So in pounds, it's 250 pounds.
Wow, 2,500 pounds.
Yes. It's
wow.
very low. It's pocket money.
Very low budget.
So my principal source of financement was Christmas. No, I'm kidding, but almost the truth. Yes, it was my family, myself. When I have jobs, illustration jobs, and pocket money. It was the philosophy of the film to make a film with pocket money. Um, I would at the beginning make another movie. I have another project which is much expensive, so it was more convenient to make it at first. But
so this is possibly, among all the films that we've seen, the most indie film ever.
yes,
And very successful one.
yes, it's very, there is absolutely no money, and in this price, you have I have to buy a computer. So you see, in this 2050, you have a computer in that. So it's very, very cheap.
So how did you make it happen then? What are the tricks?
In fact, there is no tricks to answer your question. I think the only tricks is to control the project. It was the most important thing at the beginning. It was to control the image generation, the rhythm, the montage, etc. I think when you can shoot spaceships and aliens and big explosion, you have the money to do this. But when you don't have any money, you film what you can, and you try to manage all your story to put it in what you can shoot. And not, I don't know if I'm clear, but to make an example, no, not an example, sorry. For example, for this film, the off camera was the most interesting thing, in fact. How to answer that clearly? You know, French are not very good for foreign languages. I'm a good example.
You're doing a great job, Alexis.
Okay.
You're doing a great job. Yeah. So what do you want to say? Can I help?
Yeah, you can control, the most important thing is to control the movie. And in that case, the most important thing was the concept, the starting point, the idea, telling a story with an off camera. So with this starting point, you can build all the story.
When you say with enough camera, what do you mean? Do you mean with enough footage, or?
With off camera, I think it's a good word in English, but it's all a matter of point of view. And in this particular case, it's a thief hidden in a room. So you don't have to see the other characters. It's not because I have money limitation, I didn't shoot the other characters. It was because of the starting point, the off camera.
Okay.
You understand what?
Yes.
Okay.
And what camera did you use? What did you use? Did you film with what equipment?
It was the most accessible equipment possible. It was Canon 5D Mark III and Fuji X-T1. At the beginning, I bought a Blackmagic camera, which is a more fancy camera, but I didn't like the image. It was too perfect. I wanted a very low technical equipment. So the reflex, the DSLR image was absolutely perfect for a black and white movie. For the rest, it's very common lamps from for a part from IKEA with just panels. We had a gaffer a professional gaffer. It was only professional on the set. So he bring with him his professional lighting, but at the beginning we had dozens of lamps.
So did you have a DOP, a photographer?
No, I was the photographer on the movie. It was very important to me to make myself the photography. Because I like very much film noir and directors, but I have also a passion for photographers. So John Alton, John Monghuo, for example, Joseph Lachelle, or Stanley Cortez, all these classic cinematographer was a big part of my inspiration for the film.
Because the use of light is a very important element. It does a lot to to build attention and to define the storytelling.
Yes, I'm very happy that you noticed that. It was very important, and it's why I made it in black and white. Because when you are in shadows, black and white are very more efficient than colors. Can distract you, and the source of light are very important because they represent dangers, and shadow is security. So it was more convenient for me to have a black and white compositions of lights and shadows. And so to finish with the equipment, at the beginning was dozens and light for the first days. And very quickly, we just work with two or three lamps, very simple elements, and we add traveling no, it's not a crane in English. It's a traveling rail, to make travelings.
For the camera movements, you meant?
Yes.
Yes.
So it was
trolley.
It's trolley, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, in France we call that just traveling. Sorry. And it was in fact my father who plays one of the characters in the movie, who built it. So it was very do-it-yourself film. Even for the lights, for the door lights, for example, it's just a piece of paper with the iPhone lamps at top, and you have your lights. So it's very
wow. And the actors, because in the credits there's just one actor. Is it really one actor? But you have the voice of a woman, and then there's a woman showing. Is it a man playing a woman?
No. It's so the thief, which was played by my brother Paul Bruchon, which was absolutely incredible during the movie. It was his first time he played actually for his life. It was
so he's not a professional actor?
Absolutely not. No. It was actually his first apparition.
He's amazing.
Yes, first performance. And concerning the other character, sorry, there were several actors who play the same person, same character. For example, for Boyer, I play Boyer for the most the shots. So it was difficult because there was one. I shot one quarter of the movie by myself, without crew, because there was a COVID. So I was alone at home making the shots.
Everything.
So I start on the camera, go out in the back of the room and play one role or making one traveling by myself. It was very
That's
tricky.
Really the magic of cinema, Alexis. You were playing magic tricks.
Yes, it was.
And
a bit
who's the dead?
Who's the dead?
Yeah.
The dead is my father.
Oh God. Okay.
Killed my father. Yes, it was not a deep end. Don't worry. But he was aimed to was yes, I want to make the dead. So I'm kill me, kill me. No, it's not. You have to make it more violent. Yes, do it. No, it's
So
very funny. And he plays also Boyer, the feet of Boyer, the villain, too. So it was the victim and the killer too.
amazing. This is such a good. That's so good to know. We only have 2 minutes left, but I have a very important question to ask you,
Yes.
because there is a very it's a relevant part of the film is played by the sound.
Yes.
It's a very subtle sound work. The sound direction is incredibly well structured, and it highlights the tension and builds part of the film.
Yes.
How did you achieve that? I mean, are you an expert in sound as well? And can you tell us a bit about the music?
The sound was very important because of the off-camera's work and the point of view, the main character's point of view. So we shoot the movie without sound, and I made I recorded all the sounds you can hear in the movie to work with and to have the perfect balance between the different sounds we hear. So it was a very big work on sound design, because sound is as a character in the movie.
Yes,
Because when danger come to the main character, it's by the sound, and after by the image. So it was very important. And concerning the music, it was as important as the sound design. It works as the sound design, much more soundtrack. And it was a character too, because we build the tension and we build the different climax and twist in the movie with the music. It was the very first time I made music. I'm not a musician at all. I was searching for.
Did you recorded it yourself?
Yes. Also music. I did also music myself. And at the beginning, I searched for the professional musician, but it was very expensive and it was very difficult because it took a lot of time. And very important, I started the music the first day of the COVID and the confinement in France. So it was my birthday. So for my birthday, I had this wonderful news. And after that, I have recorded every sound and I wanted, and after build the music as a visual element. It was not made on a music software, but directly on the visual timeline of my montage software. So I build it with the images that allow me to build a real sensitive soundtrack. And I was very inspired by the Japanese movies like Kobayashi's movies like Raiden, and especially Kanetoshi Indo's film called Onibaba. It's a film I love Japanese cinema too. And I've forgotten, it's one other big influence for the film was, of course, Rashomon, because Rashomon, the Kurosawa's film, is built on point of views of different characters. So it was very important for the film. But concerning the music, it was a combination on the sound I recorded for the movies, sound design, and after I built the soundtrack on it. It was just to finish one just original, not original, existent soundtrack. Maybe I will put it in the future, but it's difficult with the rights, etc. And I'm not an expert for the moment. But I hope I will have it for the future. We'll see.
And let's speak about your future then. Can I ask you to promise me something?
Promise. I can promise you that there will be another movie.
No, but I have a specific, yes, I have a specific request, because I want you to promise me
Okay.
that this is not your last film.
Ah.
And that you're going to continue.
Yes, I will keep
whatever you're going to do, you're going to show it to us.
Yes, it was a very, yes, it will definitely, yes. It was, I have to confess, it was like a miracle to be in Raindance, because I knew, of course, the festival before. There are very beautiful movies we were shown for the first time at this festival. So a little anecdote, I put it on inscription 5 minutes before the end, the deadline. So, no kidding. Because I had a technical problem on the film freeway. It's like I put the movie, and it was, oh my goodness, it's finished, because it was almost 1 p.m. in France. But I think no, in England it's not midnight yet. So I put it on the computer, and yes, I was very happy to be part of the festival.
Great, and we're very happy to have your film and to be able to speak with you and know your talents. You clearly have multiple, and it was great to know more and get to know you. So hopefully we'll see you again at Raindance. Thank you so much for showing us this film, and I'm sure that the audience will really appreciate it. I hope also that we'll see you more of your work in the future.
Okay, yes, it will be a pleasure. It was a very great pleasure to talk to you and to be here at Raindance, of course.
Great, thank you so much, Alexis, and good luck with everything. Speak soon.
You too. Goodbye.
Bye.